The Northern Watch, the invasion of Denmark and Norway. For months, the war had been a distant rumble, contained by the vast, cold waters of the North Sea. Yet, to Germany's high command, the neutral shield of Scandinavia was an irresistible strategic prize, essential for securing the iron ore supply and breaking the Allied naval blockade. The plan was codenamed Operation Weserübung exercise. It was a simultaneous, unprecedented invasion of two neutral sovereign nations, planned for the darkness before dawn on April 9, 1940. Element of surprise was the core of its cruel genius. In Denmark, the invasion began at 4:15 a.m. German forces crossed the border and landed at multiple ports. Facing an ultimatum that threatened to bomb Copenhagen, and with a small, ill-equipped army, the Danish government chose surrender to save its capital. The sacrifice of sovereignty was immediate and profound. Within hours, Denmark became an occupied territory, a model protectorate that served as a vital staging ground for the larger, more difficult conquest of Norway. Norway was different. Though taken by surprise, the Norwegian defense military and political was swift and resolute. A German flotilla sailed toward Oslo, planning to capture the king and government, forcing a swift capitulation. South of Oslo, the fortress at Oscarsborg stood sentinel. When the German heavy cruiser Blockade entered the narrow fjord, an aged battery of cannon, commanded by Colonel Birger Eriksen, fired the first salvos. The Blockade was sunk. The sinking delayed the Germans just long enough for the king and his government to escape the capital and begin their long, defiant retreat north. The fate of the nation now rested on a mobile government unwilling to submit. The German envoy, Kurt Brewer, was sent to meet the king and demand surrender. King Haakon VII made his position clear. He would not capitulate to a foreign power, even if it meant the final destruction of his country. The Allied forces arrived belatedly and in insufficient numbers. British, French, and Polish troops fought alongside the Norwegians in a difficult, grinding campaign in the unforgiving terrain. Naval battles raged in the fjords, but the German advantage was too great. By June 10, 1940, the fighting in Norway was largely over. The king and government evacuated to Britain to continue the struggle. Scandinavia was now under the shadow of the Reich, but the fires of political defiance and resistance were already burning bright.